Okay. All right. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. Good. Mhm. All right. Budget for 2025. Uh, budget for total shows. Hey, that's your decision, not mine. Mm. Okay.
Hello, John.
Hello, Harold.
Yeah, it's still in place. It's still
Pardon?
there. It's still there.
Yes, always glad to hear that.
Well, when my hair started thinning out, I said, though, I'm not vain enough to go and get a hair transplant or anything else like that.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine lost his hair due to heritage at a very young age.
Ah,
And he went to somebody, and I have no idea, but whatever they did an excellent job, and it looks so real, and it is real, I guess, real.
Yeah.
But they did such a good job, and it's turning white as he gets older and what have you. So yeah, it's amazing, but I'm not vain enough to have that done.
yeah, it's one of those things where any kind of operation you want
Yeah.
to try to avoid unless it's actually necessary.
Exactly. Okay, I turned my volume down a little. Well, I've got a lot of dates and stuff and things that I have to tell people, but that's when the meeting goes.
Yeah.
So how was everything with you?
Pardon?
How's everything with you?
All right. Let's see. We still have the two $600 donations to work out.
I know. When I talked to Janet last,
Yeah.
they said they'd set up a new account for her to write checks. So I told her there's no rush. We know
Yeah.
it's gonna be here. So
Yeah.
whenever they get around to, straightening that out,
Yeah.
to me, that bank, I wouldn't deal with them if they didn't
Yeah.
tell me this is what I have or what I'm supposed to do. It's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is that the Ivory had written checks, electronically to the conference, but the conference is having problems
Yeah.
with getting them
Yeah.
accepted properly. And so they were sent back to the bank. So we'll have to work something out there.
Yeah.
Pain in the rear.
Hello.
And
Hello,
Howard
everybody.
Kowalski's today.
Hi, everyone.
Pastor Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Are you all?
Hey, I can see you. You got much light back there. Usually you're in the dark.
Yeah. Does anybody have a knowledge of where Keith is? Is Keith in town, out of town?
Keith. The last knowledge I have is he's over working on his house
Which house?
overseas.
Okay. All right. All right. We're going to assume that he's not here. I'm going to run the meeting then.
Is that Lithuania?
I think so.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I will admit that it's pretty hard for me to keep track of where Keith is.
Yeah.
Like basically, I'm sort of constantly surprised. Like he's actually, I think I'm more surprised when he's here than when he's not.
Right.
I just hope they finish their house in time to enjoy it.
Well, that's another thing, it's crazy.
Well, I mean,
He,
legitimately with, North Korean troops going into Ukraine and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, I don't know. Doesn't seem good, at least to me, but
yeah, last time he was talking about something about the porch not being done, and they said they've been working on it for over a year. So,
let's see.
Hi, Patty.
Hello.
Hi, Patty.
Right.
Oh. It's
That's to remind
That's
you,
a
right?
reminder.
Yeah.
yeah, I have been home and missed a meeting once, so I now set an alarm.
Just imagine, where were we all before cell phones?
Oh my gosh.
Well, we weren't doing Zoom meetings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's for
Isn't
sure.
that the
Yep.
truth?
Yeah, we would be at the church.
yep.
But it's changed things a lot socially too.
Right.
Just in general, I read a book and it took place the same year I graduated high school or college. And I was thinking that the reason my daughter stays in touch with her friends from college easier
Right.
is because they have now that's one advantage. They
Yeah.
have the computers and the phones. We literally had to write or call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what?
It
And
was-
part of me wonders about the quality of the interactions, though.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you post something on social media, and you're technically in touch, and you technically know that your friend had a baby or they went on vacation.
Right.
But I kind of wonder whether you have any substantial interaction with people, like any meaningful interaction.
Yeah.
I
But
think
you
it
still
keeps
have to
people.
plan to get together.
Yes.
But they do.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of them
Yeah.
do. Yeah. That's-
Yes.
But I mean, back in the day, right? If I called you, I didn't call you for 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, we had a new baby. Click.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Disneyland a long time ago, and it was like a phone booth, and you could talk to somebody, but you would get a solid picture of them,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
all. But you could talk to them, and it, back and forth. But you would nothing like we have now with Zoom. I mean,
Right.
the technology is just unbelievable.
Actually, I saw an interesting technology. I don't think many people are buying it, but it's like a holographic booth. And so there's two sides to it. There's a side for the speaker and there's a side for the audience. And essentially the person who's speaking gets into the booth, and essentially a set of cameras or video cameras watch this person and recreate sort of a 3D image of the person at the audience side.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and you can kind of look at that, and pretty soon we're gonna just sit at home and get fat.
Yeah, let the hologram do your exercise for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know if you saw this news article today. It was very sad. I mean, but there was a woman, I think in Florida, filed a lawsuit against an AI chatbot company, and her son had died by suicide after having, let me get this right, after having an emotional and sexual relationship with an AI chatbot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I'm like, I read it, and you guys know I'm a tech guy, right? But I'm like, okay,
Okay,
how, I mean, part of me is sort of, how is this possible,
Yeah.
right? And you have people that are having a hard time distinguishing between AI and reality, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I-
What was that movie? What was the movie where she was? I forget the,
oh, yeah,
what was that called with, Johan, what's her name? Where she was the voice.
Oh, you know what? The only thing I know about this movie is that they made a joke about it on Saturday.
On Saturday Night Live.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Host
Yeah.
had to make a joke about his wife.
It's basically coming to fruition. It's like they already knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like,
yeah.
it's crazy.
It's mighty weird.
Yeah.
Mighty.
Is this it for people for tonight, or are we waiting for Keith?
You know what? I'll give him another minute, and then if you're not,
Okay,
Well, I
We're
had
not-
somebody say to me, I had to give him my phone number. He says, "You have a landline?" I'm going, yeah. And I still
that-
have I still have a rotary phone.
You have a rotary phone?
oh, come on, Harold.
No,
Do
I got a
you
rotary
really?
phone. Yeah, and if you should happen to pick up a phone and it says you must dial 1 for English or whatever you need, you just dial the number and it works just like a touchtone phone.
Wow,
I
Yeah.
didn't think the system was set up for
Yeah.
for rotary
Yeah.
for the tone.
Yeah, it says if you want to press 1 for English or press 2 for whatever, I dial the number 1 or number 2 and it works.
Do people get agendas for these meetings? There's no agenda.
You know what?
really
So
ever.
we were just talking about that a little bit early, Deb. So I guess Keith is out of town, and so nobody sent an agenda to Ivory. But basically, when I run the meetings and when Keith isn't here, I run down through sort of a standard agenda that he always puts
yeah,
Okay.
basically it's membership, trustees, finance, staff, parish, mission, and then new business. That's kind of it. So
Okay,
I mean, it's not like we have a lot
the
of
standard order of worship.
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't even know what the order, like who came up with the order. It's not alphabetical or anything like that. I don't know. All right, it's 7:06. Let's get started since everybody is here and anxious to go watch the Rams Vikings game. All right, if you would join me in prayer. Gracious God, we thank you. Thank you for this beautiful day and this beautiful season of fall that we are reminded of the goodness of creation. And through that, we were reminded of your goodness and the purpose you have for us and the meaning of our lives to be your children, to proclaim your goodness and your presence amongst us, to give us purpose in our lives that we might help others know you. So God, as we gather together in fellowship and in business, God, we pray that you would be present with us, that you would lend us your wisdom, you would lend us your prophetic voice in terms of our future and where we're going, and that you would grace us with love and fellowship as a community that we have become. So God, we pray all this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 All right. The first thing on the agenda is membership. I know Marilyn Creedy is not here. I can tell you that there were no changes in membership. So.
Do we have to approve the last minutes?
Oh yeah, I guess we do. So yes, thank you. So if the Ivory did send out those, if there are.
I see it.
If there are any changes, you want to take a look at that?
I don't think I clicked on
And
it.
see if there are any changes that you would like to make, any corrections?
Is it that? It's a while ago, we had a meeting.
Mhm.
The rest of them, I didn't even see anything.
Mhm.
Oh, there they are. I didn't see them.
Alright. Anybody got anything? Still need more time?
It's good to me. I read it before the meeting.
Oh, somebody was prepared.
Ooh, cut slice.
Right. Like everybody sort of done. Anybody got any changes, modifications?
I don't think so.
Do I have a motion
Oh.
to?
I was worried about the fact that we discussed Ivory, like, did you guys talk to her before she was doing the minutes? So she wouldn't find out in the minutes that she might have reduced hours?
So, well, okay, what, we can talk about that at SPRC. The answer is
Okay.
no, but, well, yes, there's a yes and a no to that.
Yeah, I
So we'll
think you-
consider it an SPRC.
Yeah, you talked to her a little bit about it.
Okay, fine, because I was worried about her doing the minutes and then finding out
Right,
that.
me too.
Yeah.
it's bad.
Although she
Mm.
should be able to figure it out.
So,
She
yeah,
won't
we
be
can talk,
doing the
we can
bulletin.
talk about that SPRC.
Yeah,
So do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
Okay, second,
I second it.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention?
We're
Okay,
accepting-
minutes are accepted as written. Membership report, again, no changes in membership.
well, we actually lost a
Yeah,
member.
we lost a
Yes,
member.
we did.
Yeah.
I guess that's right. So we do, right. So we lost Daryl. Obviously, everybody, I think, knows that. So we lost Daryl, and Eloise Charco. We're working on trying to find a date to baptize her.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's just sort of proving an interesting scheduling exercise between everything that's going on. So,
Oh, I bet.
but I'm in communication with Ben and Anita to try and figure out when we can.
Is it looking like November, though?
Actually, at this point, it might be maybe, but it might be December.
Okay.
I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah, I bet.
But we'll figure out something and we'll make sure. I mean, I would very much, I mean, baptism is very much a public congregation-wide event. And so I would very much like to make sure that we have that either at a worship service or at some time when, the congregation can be witness to the event. So, but we'll work on that. Yep. Trustees. So Harold, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. I've got several things on the thing going on. On the 28th, I have the Elmhurst Fire Department coming through for their fire inspection first thing in the morning on the 28th. That's all set up, ready to go. I have the backflow water people coming in December on the 10th. That's another thing that has to be done. The citywide sets that up every year, so that has to be done. So that's already set up, ready to go. I was notified that the lights over the flaming cross outside had dissipated, so I had a few light bulbs still in the church. So when I went to test them, they were no good. So I went out and purchased 2 new LED lights, which will last a long time, even though the lights are on all the time. And I had somebody help me, one of Keith's workers,
Phew, Good.
stood there and made sure I didn't fall, and
That's
or he
perfect.
didn't fall or whatever. And they're both up and working, and it really bright. I got what they call daylight, and it really lights it up.
I appreciate it, Harold.
Yes.
I
know.
noticed it when I was walking the dog tonight. It
Good,
looks very nice.
good.
And thank you for getting help.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because you could always call me to be, yeah. I don't,
Yes.
if I ever see you on a ladder alone again, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I agree.
Well, maybe I should do what I the guys did in the Navy. Put a net underneath me so that if I fall into the net.
Harold, you will have so many angry women from church if you aren't around. Like, I would not want to be you.
Anyway, on another subject for the church, I purchased a new lawnmower a long time ago when the old one was went down, and I used it quite a bit until we got a lawn service due to my wife having a heart issue, and she needed me home. So the lawn service is there, but the church tractor is still sitting in there. Now, Chris, my last name is just
Karani.
completely lost. Yes,
Karani.
yes. Help me clean it up and put it for storage, draining all the oil, draining all the gasoline out of the carburetor, and so it's winter proofed or whatever. So Chris, I talked to him, and since we're not using the tractor anymore and probably never will do it anymore, it's a possibility he can find somebody who would like to buy it. And so I didn't want to do anything without getting the our church board getting involved in it, whether or not you want me to go ahead and find somebody who would like to buy it.
Can you make a motion? Harold,
So moved.
Yeah,
can you
So
make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to get the authorization to find somebody. Chris will find somebody to buy the tractor from us, and of course, the money will come back to the church.
Okay. If you think we don't ever need it again.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. With all the cutbacks that we're making on churches, I mean, I can keep the tractor and that's not a problem. And I could probably still cut the lawn, but you're not going to get the service from me other than cutting the lawn, because I'm not a gardener. I'm not a
Right.
weeder. I don't have the ability to take care of the weeds in the grass. I don't have the fertilizer and all that other stuff. So it'll be cut, but that's about all. So think about it. If you don't, there's no pressure, just a thought.
Do you want to vote on it now or?
Well, I don't
Well-
know. So we can second it, and then after there's second, then we can consider it. So is there a second?
I second it.
Oh.
All right, so the two options before us are we can vote on it now, or we could, you can think about it and we can table it till next meeting.
We can do that. And
Yeah.
even if we want to do that, we can wait until the end of the year and see what happens. I mean, we don't know for sure when this transposition is going to happen. So
Right.
we can
Right.
wait.
Yeah, I can't picture that he'd be able to sell a lawnmower right now. I would think in the spring
Right.
might be a better
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we could just
Agreed.
table it, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
So, okay, so motion to table. Second. I think I need a second for that.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor of tabling the motion to sell the tractor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, so that matter is tabled. We will bring it up again at a subsequent meeting. It sounded like you wanted to bring it up in the spring, yeah?
Yeah, don't you
Or
think,
winter,
Harold?
late winter when we're makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, anything else, Harold?
I think that is about it. There's nothing more that I can say. I haven't been brought up with any more problems at all.
Okay.
The only problem is that, I don't know what the situation's gonna be as far as, what's going on with the church. That depends upon, getting the hot water tank replaced. And we can do that when it comes down to it, because I don't think it would take much time to get it up and running. But I suggest a smaller unit than what that we have now.
Is that gonna be independent of the boiler?
Yes, but what
Okay.
happens is the water is transferred, heated from the boiler, and it sits there, and when it's called for, it goes out. The hot water, the hot water is always there.
Right, right. But is there gonna be like a regular, instead of having that, is there gonna be a regular water heater running separately from that?
Well, that's gonna take a lot of to-do work, and I'm not into that plumbing, and I don't know. I could probably find somebody to get somebody recommended to do that. I know Patty's husband has a lot of plumbing buddies that I'm sure they'd be interested in trying to help us out.
Yeah, he is a company that he definitely likes the most in our town.
Yeah.
For being the most honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think my personal opinion is, I think that, so number one, we haven't decided to do anything, right? But if we do decide to do something, I think it would be reasonable for us to have the discussion. Given the piping in that church, I think it would be reasonable. Harold, this is something you were investigating early when I got appointed, about whether we use inline heaters or we use the hot water heater kind of.
Yeah.
Because we probably waste a lot. I mean, with a hot water tank, we probably waste a lot of money keeping it hot.
yeah, because it was
line.
yeah, it was $300 in September
Yeah.
Yeah.
for just heating the water. I don't think that the heat actually went on.
No,
But
well, it's
just-
been, yeah,
Just to heat the water.
Right. And
Yeah.
at least my experience in the kitchen is, even when we have hot water, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
well, that's the only problem with the kitchen. It's so far away from the
Right.
unit, it takes forever to get hot water
Right.
to it.
And for the amount of use we do it, I might argue, we're not running the dishwasher, we're not doing any of that stuff.
Okay.
You know, if we decide to do this someday, we might want to investigate the cost benefit of an inline heater, right?
Because don't we need to still be concerned with certain supplies that we should be doing for the people using our building? Like, not only the hot water, but there was a funeral there and no one could find Kleenexes and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I mean, we need to think.
But that was,
about-
right, that really
So,
should.
there's no soap in the kitchen. You know what I mean? We need
Right.
to.
But that's not for other users. That was really for us, right? I mean, that was kind of our bad that we didn't
Yeah.
have those, right? But I mean, part of me was trying to remember the last time we did a funeral in the church.
And I don't even know what he's
But
saying.
we have other people there. We should have toilet paper, Kleenexes, and soap by the sinks. Those are 3 basic things that we should be providing in the building. in
I
my-
agree, yeah. So
Although
Harold,
I
mean,
will say, when my Girl Scout troop met there, at the beginning of the year, had them all bring toilet paper, paper towels, and soap. Because I felt like I asked for donations. I felt like we are using, and it might have been because it was our church,
Yes.
but I just felt like that was one way of showing appreciation. I mean,
That's fantastic, but we don't have people that do
I
that.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
not.
So
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
think,
guess if the Boy Scouts need paper towels, they can They'll
Well,
try
no,
to
Harold,
figure it
I think
out.
Harold, you take care of all that, right? The paper towels
Yeah.
and we have
Right.
toilet paper for like a millennium.
Oh,
and-
we got we got enough
Right.
toilet
Okay,
paper to last for a
good.
while.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
toilet
think the
paper.
only thing, to Deb's point, I think the only thing we would need is just make sure that there's soap at the bathroom sinks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I have the Boy Scouts did donate a box of good garbage bags for the kitchen and the back west
Oh,
room.
That's good
So
to
they-
hear.
How
They
about
noted they did that for us.
Good.
So
That's good.
Then I think the only other thing I'm aware of from a trustee standpoint is we're an election site again this year, right?
we're doing elections this year, and I already got in touch with everybody. They are coming Monday to drop off the election equipment at between 11 and 1. And the people will come Monday night to set that all up. And I will give them the keys so I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to let them in. And it's a standard thing. I met Mike before. It's all worked out, and I already talked to him too. So that also too is set, ready to go.
Great.
Cool. And God bless
Sweet.
our country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how
I'll
that,
say a prayer while I'm there voting.
we'll see how that night goes, right? All right. Deb, do you have any trustees report or anything?
I had just been going there often to try and keep the building, the outside looking nice and the flowers watered and stuff like that. So, I did get a call that we had, our lawn was getting eaten up by grubs. We did have a grub treatment. I worked with John on that, so that was the only extra thing that happened. Otherwise, we're getting to the end of our landscaping contract. I'll be making sure that Jorge realizes what I expect to be done or left alone in the Memorial Garden, but I get over there as much as I can to water stuff, so
Okay.
that's all I can do.
Did he do
It
the grub?
looks,
Pardon me?
Did Jorge did he also do the grub treatment too?
Yes.
Okay,
What did she say?
because we had him here too, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
it's a-
very
Not
evident.
Jorge.
so
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know
not
why.
Jorge.
I don't know why they were so prevalent this year. I'm wondering if, let's blame it on the cicadas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, something, or the no rain, too dry, I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, there was definite evidence of that, and so I just worked with John. I sent out an email, but John responded and I worked with him to get that accomplished. So yes, it was done
Perfect.
right away.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know
okay,
nothing
that's
about
good.
grubs.
because it looks great.
Yeah, no, the property looks very good.
Another friend that I was with walking the dog goes, wow, your grass looks in your Memorial Garden, everything looks so nice. And I'm like, yeah,
That's good to
kind of
hear.
Maybe still go there.
yeah.
No,
Um,
it's
As far
sure
as what's written on the sign, I haven't done anything to it. It still does say that we worship at 9:30 on Sundays.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think that I should do anything, but if you guys think I should change anything on it, I still just have the one saying that I have up there, and it's just I just have left it alone.
I think it's okay.
I
don't
think it's
think we're
okay,
getting a
too.
stream of visitors in because of the sign.
Okay.
Unless you just say, pray for us all.
Well, you could do that. Or you could put something like "Be kind."
Yeah,
Because
be
that would
kind, pray for us.
I did
all.
have that up last
No,
time.
I know,
You
but that'll
did,
be
yeah.
that'll be enormously important after the 4th,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? I hope. Anyway. All right. Anything else, Deb?
No, I just been trying to keep the place looking decent.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, then if there's any questions for trustees? Okay, finance then, John?
Okay, one thing I was supposed to remind you of is the Boy Scouts. I think it's $1,700 this year. And we need to approve us paying that because it's a sizable amount. I think we already did the 5,000, but it's the specific payments. Am I correct? Is that what I was supposed to remind you of?
I think so. So are we, so I guess I'll put it to the council. So a reminder, we made a 3-year pledge to repair the harm. That was to pay into the fund for the bankruptcy, the Boy Scout bankruptcy thing. We made a $5,000 commitment over 3 years. I think last year we paid $1,600. Is that right, John?
1,800.
How much?
1,800.
1,800. And then, so that leaves, I can't do the math, 3,200?
Yeah, and it would be 1,700, and then the final year 1,500. However, they do have us in the Prosper site as 1,717.
Oh, I don't think that, okay, so to be clear, we didn't tell them how we were going to split it up. Okay, when we made
Right,
the commitment, we
but
just said
there's-
5,000, right?
But theirs adds to 5,200.
They what?
Theirs adds to $5,200.
Oh, they added $200 to it?
They added $200,
How nice of them.
and we can talk about it next year.
Right, right.
'Cause that's
I guess
the-
the question is for this council, just we need to pick the amount that we want to disperse this year. Unless
Yeah,
you have a proposal, John, if you'd like to. put-
1,700.
Okay, all right. So that's a recommendation by the finance committee.
Well, seeing that the finance committee really didn't meet,
Right. Right, no, I get it. So, I don't think it needs a second because it's coming from the
From the
committee.
I would think since we already approved the entire payment that we
Yeah.
wouldn't need to.
Right, but it's-
necessarily-
Yeah, it just keeps things, it keeps things above board, right? I mean, that
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
we're not going to disperse funds that we didn't know about, right? So, so I don't think it needs a second,
no,
but any discussion about the amount proposed?
Well, couldn't we really afford it?
yes
Well-
and no.
Okay, I'll let John answer.
Committed to it.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we have
can
no
because we've got
choice.
the money in the money market fund. And it's, I think, around 60,000 right now. But no, because we don't know about expenses later on. And I can talk about that.
Hmm,
I mean, the problem is that July through December, we have no idea in terms of how the pastor's salary will be handled then. Will we have merged by then?
right.
How much are we going to have to pay first? Because they probably want one payment for that. Are we going to have 2 ministers? Are we going to have 1 minister?
Well,
So
Budgeting
that's,
might
that's
I
the-
think,
that's
John,
the
I think
problem.
once we merge, we're merged. It's not gonna be split. So,
Right, but how much?
We don't know what their contribution was, right?
Well, we haven't even talked about it.
Yeah, we have no idea, right?
And we don't know whether we're going to have 2 ministers or 1 minister.
Yeah,
Well, okay, yeah, I suppose
So
that's,
that's,
but then again, if we merge, that's not our problem. That's our problem.
well,
Both
it's
churches
both of the
together.
churches' problem. Yeah.
Both churches together's problem, not our problem.
But so I would say we should pay the 1,700 because first of all, we obligated ourselves to.
Right.
for right now, yeah.
Right.
And right now we're not merged, right? I mean, we're just.
Right.
We are not merged.
We
Right.
also made that commitment before the merge was ever proposed.
Right,
Correct.
so-
What is the 1700 for?
Yeah, so I
It's
think
only money, go for it.
Sorry?
It's only money, go for it.
it's only money. There you go. You can't take it with you.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think I would tend to agree with that. I mean, there was harm done in the
Right.
whole abuse thing of BSA, and
Yeah.
we did have, I mean, not we individually, but we corporately had some culpability in that, and so I think we should do what we can to help contribute to the victim fund.
Yeah. So is everybody in agreement that we should?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Years.
Hey.
Is this? the
all right.
second year?
By the way, sorry to hit you with a deluge of,
This is the second year.
Did you with the
Paper.
what?
a lot of paper.
Oh,
John's had a lot of work the last couple
Well,
months.
Actually, Excel does a lot of work,
yeah.
but
Well, it's so confusing, yeah.
yeah, what I did in terms of let me get these three here. In terms of the activity, is I did an activity by month, and I also did statement of activity comparison. So it's comparing with last year, January through September, and you can see in the giving area, we are actually up. Excuse me. Yeah, we're actually up because we had the Bensonville increase in Calvary, to offset the minister's pay in part.
Mhm.
So you'll see that we're up, but in terms of regular offering, we're down this year. The UMF is stable. The interest is up because we had CDs, which we no longer have now. And you can just look through. Memorials was up a great deal, but you can just take a look through there to see where things were in terms of income. Expenditures are basically the same as last year, with the big exception of the merger expenses.
Right. And that was for that big one in June was for the appraisal, right?
The assessment.
That was the
The
assessment.
assessment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was 10,500, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's where we stand in terms of comparison with
Okay.
last year. Then the other is a statement of activity by month. And if you look at the first page, you'll see a number of blank areas. And in part, that is because the payments were not made in that month. They were actually made, or they actually cleared in the next month.
Okay.
Because I don't get the material from
Right.
the checks that are written as they're written. It has to clear the bank
Right.
for me to see it.
So is that the reason, like all the stuff under like
For your stuff, you mean that big blank at the
yeah,
near
that's
bottom?
all coming next month?
Yeah, it I hope, but I don't know whether that was the one that got caught with
Oh, because of the lockbox. Yeah.
because of the lockbox.
Okay.
But we did have a
Just-
check, we did have the two checks returned to us.
Okay, that's fine. It'll work itself out. Just so
Yeah.
everybody knows, the Northern Illinois Conference has a lockbox where we send our checks, and I don't even understand what happened.
Yeah.
But they start, like, the lockbox had a problem and they returned checks, or they didn't cash them, or something happened, so.
No, they were actually returned to the bank.
They were returned to the, okay. I don't
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that, but whatever. Okay. All right,
So
I guess we can see, hopefully we'll see a double up in
Yeah,
October.
I hope so.
Right, okay. John, I think I only had one question when I looked over this report, aside from all the blanks, was, so in September, it looked like there's a $1,200 bank charge. So 2910.
$1,200. Oh, yes. What happened was that a person who had donated, the check did not go through for various reasons. So a second check was written. And the bank basically withdrew the two. They had been deposited and were showing as part of the deposits under the regular offering. But what happened was that it was denied. I don't know, Harold, was that the correct word? Or that,
Well, the first one was an accident. The date on the check was for 23. I
Yeah.
didn't see it because it was so small. I didn't look at it. I look now at the number that is written and the written number. Okay,
Mm.
they have to, the written number is what the bank goes by, not by the physical number. And also it has to be signed.
Right.
Those are the two major qualifications to make sure the check gets taken. The first
Okay.
one was accidentally written for 23, and they would not accept it because of the date.
Right.
So they sent it back.
and
She
so
really-
that's $600 of the 1,200.
right.
Okay.
So she sent the bank said overdrawn amount or whatever. So, and then of course they charged a fee
$5.
for that.
Right.
The second check was written with 24 written on it. Perfect. Everything was right down to the center.
Okay.
Then the bank tells her, the check went back to her bank. The bank tells her she shouldn't be writing checks out of that account. Well,
Okay.
this is so confusing because she's written checks before, and I guess she's had troubles with her bank. And I told her there's no rush to correct the problem. We'll eventually get the money taken care of. So right now I haven't seen a new check yet. So they gave her a new account to write checks out of. So
All right.
that's
So-
as far as it goes.
Okay, so if I heard this all correctly, the short answer is the $1,205 is return checks.
Right,
Correct.
right.
Fine.
Correct.
That's fine.
But did they
Okay.
still charge you guys? Did they charge you a?
They charged the bank for
They
the,
charged $5.
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's
I
what
thought
they
it was
charged the
like
bank. That's
Some
all.
ridiculous amount. Okay.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that just for everybody's knowledge, I think when I went through this, then we are running an average monthly deficit of $381, which, I mean, at least on the general operating fund, and
Right.
minus $381 per month, which
Yeah.
doesn't really scare
Yeah,
me
which
that
is not bad.
much. Yep, I agree.
So,
I mean, it's
Okay.
not great. I mean, it would be better to deposit it, don't get me wrong, but
right.
minus 381 isn't gonna be,
Yeah.
a killer. The only other thing I wanted to point out on this report is if you look at, 2210 under the expenditures, which is health insurance, you'll
Yes.
see basically that the church has been contributing $1,730 toward my health insurance premium, and then I contribute $636. Just so everybody knows,
Where
next
that is.
year,
Yeah.
that $1,730 is going up to $1,850 that the church has to contribute to my health insurance. So $120 per month more, which is not great, but I'm sure you all know it's kind of reflective of the increases in health insurance premiums.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And I haven't worked out yet. We're in the middle of, I think starting October 3rd, we'll be in our open season for enrollment. And then I'll know how much I have to take out of my paycheck to contribute to my health insurance. So we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. I
Are
think
we-
everything else, I don't think I had any other questions on this report. Anybody?
Okay.
No?
Now, on the budget,
Okay.
I sent one, was it today or yesterday? A
Today.
special one,
You said today, I think you said an
Yeah,
updated.
today.
an updated one.
Right.
Okay, and that's you can tell them apart by, at the top, it's got Christ United Methodist Church, well, you can't see, but has Christ United Methodist, Christ UMC Elmhurst, and that's actually centered in the page with respect to left, right, and all the other ones have it just on the left-hand side. So what I'd like to do is
So
go
is
through
it,
the.
so John, I'm gonna try and share this. Is it this one? I think I hope. Is
Yeah,
it that one?
that one.
Okay.
Okay, because we do not know what's going to happen in the second half of the year, what I did was to do the outline of the budget. In other words, these were the main categories without having bunches of little stuff in there. And looked at January through June and July through December. Those are on the right-hand side with the total. Okay, things of note are if you start looking at the expenses, you'll see the connectional clergy support, health insurance, pastor's family insurance, the CRSP, CPP, that's pension retirement. I only did those for the first half of the year because I don't know what's going to happen in the second half. So things that are related to the minister, I basically zeroed out. And so if we don't have a minister for the year, we would be down close to $7,000. But the second half, we'd be up 15,000. So this gives you an idea in terms of what the costs are without the minister in the second part. This is Calvary Lombard paying the first half, but not the second half. Now we're going to have to do a budget for the year, I believe, as opposed to the half year. Is that correct, Pastor Jim?
Well, okay, so I think that we've got an option here from a church conference standpoint, because I think we'd like to present the church conference to the congregation at church conference and get it approved.
Yeah.
So I think that there's two things we can do. Number one, we can display a full 2025 year budget, but recognizing that there's a lot of guessing
Okay.
in there, and that there's probably really no basis yet for any of these guesses.
Right.
We could also present a 6-month budget at the church conference and say in the report, John, when you present the budget, is to say, okay, so once in the first half of 2024, once we have better clarity on the clergy situation, then we will hold a special church conference to approve, a second 6-month
The
budget
second half.
from July to.
Okay, so if I do just January through June, we're good.
Yeah, I just think that we have to, again, to be transparent, I think we
Yeah.
just have to say those words at the church conference, that this is a 6-month budget. We're waiting for clarity on we're waiting for clarity on the minister appointment situation, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
we will have a special church conference sometime in the first 6 months of the year to, to pick up either, the full 25 year budget or the last 6 months, which is
Yeah.
basically the same.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, and
I just want to make sure that we are very clear with the congregation, whoever's at the church conference. We want to make sure that we're very clear about that. We're not trying to pull a fast one, right? That we're being transparent, but that we just don't have enough information to really definitively say what the second half of 2025 will look like.
yeah,
Right.
Can
definitely.
you
agreed on
refresh
that.
my memory on when the church conference is?
Yes, I was going to talk about that in the other business, but it will be Sunday, November 24th. SPRC will meet with Reverend Wendy at 6 p.m. and then the church conference will be at 6:30 p.m.
November 24th.
So that's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, if you need a reference.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, by the way, on these ones that are showing on the left-hand side has Christ UMC Elmhurst 2025 budget, and then small stuff under there. What I did was I looked at basically a quarter of Pastor Jim's salary, if that would be our amount that we would quote owe, a half and full, and seeing exactly where we landed in terms of the actual budget. Because this gives us an idea in terms of if we do get charged for the pastor's salary and benefits and so forth, we have some idea in terms of how much in the hole we're going to be.
Right. I would just, actually, I'm probably frankly, and you guys can join me, I'm frankly stuck back at we don't have enough information to talk intelligently about July through December, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things have to happen in the first 6 months. We would have better clarity on the progress of the merger. But if we had better clarity there, we would have a better understanding of what the merged church could afford in terms of appointed clergy, right?
Right.
So then you would
Hopefully
know whether you can afford me and at what percentage, right?
Right.
You would also have we would also have some better clarity from Lombard as to what their interest and what their ability to afford me is. So that would happen in the first half of the year. And or then the second part of that would be if the merger wasn't progressing and the churches could not afford to keep me, then Reverend Wendy would have a meeting with the SPRC to talk about what are your options in terms of another appointed clergy. And then there might be a completely different compensation profile, depending on whether that person's retired, whether that person's a student, whether that person's a part-time local pastor or a full-time local pastor. There are a lot of things.
there are a lot of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much stuck at we don't know what July through December looks like. And
Okay.
anything after that is probably, John, I appreciate all the work you did, but I think that after you say we don't know what's going to happen in July and December, I think the rest of it is conjecture.
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing that I was curious about is that I hear that when you have the merger actually occurring, that Christ United Methodist Church will not, be an entity, be part of the other one. What do they do with apportionments?
Oh, so first off, my answer is I don't know. Okay. But my second answer is I can tell you what happened in Lombard Cavalry now. So at Lombard Cavalry, what happened was we merged. I was reappointed as a part-time associate to Lombard. So that's my official appointment. They changed it, but they didn't change my compensation. They just changed my appointment. And they just simply told us to stop paying Villa Park's apportionment.
Mm.
They just, I mean, I don't understand it, but repeated emails to David Quinn in the conference office he basically said, you can stop paying it. It's like, okay. So then we just stopped paying it.
Okay.
I have
So,
a question.
Yep.
for John, are you going to be able to, or are we going to be able to understand First Church's financial position as well as you have done for us to make decisions on, because it's like when two people marry and one person has like all this stuff or debt or whatever, like you're basically inheriting all of that mess. Like, do we understand what we're going to potentially be looking at?
You know,
Well,
I'm not.
Peter has brought that up.
But it's
and
something to
it's a mess.
consider.
yeah. So
Yes,
you
yes,
know what,
it's
We
Jeff?
need to know.
Yeah. So Pete, do you want to speak into that?
Not really.
No.
No, it's, yeah, I mean, that's something John and Keith are gonna have to sort out with them.
Okay.
Where they're at and one of the reasons this is happening is they're no different from us. They're in the same situation we are. They can't afford what they're doing and we can't afford what we're doing.
Except
So-
they're bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but them being bigger only means that we're ahead of them by 3 to 5 years, is my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. In 5 years, no, certainly no more than 10. They will be in the same situation we are now.
yeah.
But to the point that we talked about before, when we start to get into trouble, we start pulling back on and being reasonable and making corrections. So I went to a worship committee meeting and I'm wondering to myself, we have this wonderful Advent thing that we're gonna do, and they're gonna do all this stuff to enhance worship. Where's all that budget coming from and stuff? So
We have to go.
I'm just wondering if,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
It scares me.
They
actually.
received a $90,000 gift.
Request.
Yeah, for this year. That's where all their money's coming from. They should probably break even this year because of that.
Oh,
But I feel the same as you. I mean, they put on this front like,
They're
you
loaded.
know, they're having this breakfast in a couple weeks and they do this and this and this. No, that's all gonna have to get kind of sorted out.
Well, and they have so much staff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So
Yeah.
Deb, okay, so this is what I can add to this conversation. Because I'm really a firm believer that the whole merger thing, like you have to engage in truth telling. I mean,
you're breaking, like I can't, you have to engage in what? Like your tone is going down and I'm missing
Oh,
you last
it-
one.
you have to engage in truth telling.
Yes.
Um,
Telling.
and so actually I think we explicitly said to them, we're not comfortable if the scenario looks like we're just merging so that you can use our assets to fix the first building.
Or how Keith explained, we don't want to join a sinking ship.
Right,
Yeah.
now, right, now, I mean, and John and Pete will tell you this, I mean, so that's an okay statement, right? But then we have to game out if we don't merge, which is fine, and I've always defended this congregation's right to not merge, right? But we
Oh, I
have
hope it happens. I'm
no,
just
no,
afraid.
no,
what's-
right. But we have to game out. Like, let's say that the scenario, like, they're not going to play ball. Okay, they're not going to get their finances ordered. They're not going to get their building or whatever the case is. And this congregation says, you know what, we don't want to merge. We're gonna stay separate because that's absolutely this congregation's right to say that. Okay, and I will go down defending them. Okay, but then you're going to have to game out what is Christ's plan without that merger. Okay, are you going to look for another church to merge with? Right? Are you going to look at Bentonville? Are you going to look? I don't even know. Like, there's not a lot of United Methodist churches in this area, east and south of us, until you get to probably Maywood. And then south, I can't think of the next United Methodist church south of us. I don't think Oak Brook has one.
No,
So you're going to have to go whatever's below.
Well, all the other ones have already merged. Winfield
Well-
and Wheaton and Otgelt or whatever they were.
Right.
Was
And-
that-
Right.
Yeah.
And legitimately, are you okay? So let's not spend the whole meeting talking about this, but are you going to really merge with a Wheaton? Are you
Right.
really going to go that far?
They're having a meeting
We hope.
with their people at some point before the end of the year, hopefully, like what we had.
Okay.
They're gonna discuss their options and get the feeling from their people. But when you run the numbers and you look at stuff, the only way it's gonna work is if they sell their property.
Yeah.
That's the only way it's gonna work. It won't work if they insist on staying in their building. It'll work,
it's
but
gonna
it's,
eat 'em up.
yeah, but like Pastor Jim says, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? If we close, where are you and your mom gonna go to
You're gonna
church?
go for
Yeah.
any-
You're gonna go there anyway.
Yeah.
Right? John's gonna go there, Keith's gonna go there, Harold will probably go there. So it's almost like you merge in, even though it's not the smartest thing because them getting us isn't other than our. Would be a little over, it'd be about 3 million, a little over 3 million. Other than getting that, they're not getting anything else from us.
Yeah.
They're not getting people, they need people like they're in the same situation we are.
Yeah.
A little bit younger, but they don't have anybody to take over for their trustee positions once these people leave. And
Right.
they're not really getting that from us.
Yep.
So. I see it happening.
I hope it does
Let's see.
happen.
Well, but their problem is, I think they're gonna have a hard time getting a merger passed.
Yeah.
Because they've got people they have people that don't wanna give up the building and they have people that wanna give up the building.
Yeah.
So you don't know where they're at. If they're 50-50, then you can't pass it.
So that really, I think that's really the telling thing is,
Right,
again, we're back to we don't have enough information to really
right,
Yeah.
talk
Right.
about
So
this.
what's happening?
We really need to wait for them to have the same meeting that John, Pete, and Keith had with you.
right,
Because again, we're back in speculation mode, right? Is it
Right.
50-50? Is it 90-10? What is it? So
Yeah,
now
'cause you know what they really know.
right. So from our standpoint, I think that we're in we being Christ, are a
Mhm.
little bit of in a holding room, right? Let's
Right.
wait
Right.
to see what they say,
Yeah.
right? And then, I mean, like everything else in life, we hear what they say and then we react to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If 95% of the people are on board getting rid of their building, all right, then we go
Yeah.
one direction. If
Yeah.
it's the other
Yeah.
way, then we go a different direction.
So
right.
I just hope they don't lollygag here. I mean, we gotta get moving here. It
Right.
seems
They had a
like
hard
there's,
time getting them together.
I thought that they've been really dragging their feet.
The
They
end of
are- they're
November,
really-
the earliest they can meet is the end of November.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
To do the presentation that
Right,
They
Peter
want
and Keith
to,
and I.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Well, I can say one thing. 10 years ago, if we had not sold the vacant property, including
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Minister's
would have been
house.
done anyhow.
we wouldn't be here talking
Right.
about this
Right.
at all.
Right,
So
that's the truth.
it's
Right.
a big deal.
right. So,
And truthfully, I mean, if the merger doesn't go through, there might be a way for us to chart a future independently, but again, we'd be back at square one. We'd have to say, can we afford our building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are we looking for something else too? So like, again, we could spend all night here.
Yeah.
And Margaret will kill
Right.
me, right? But we could
So
spend.
will I.
That
Right,
we spent all
speculating.
night doing this, but Margaret.
Right.
That's what it
so,
Is that your puppy?
This
It's
is
Ray.
Ray. This is my grand puppy.
Oh,
Ray needs to meet Rufus.
Yes, they do need to meet. They probably just won't like each other though because they're so spoiled.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so
Okay.
all I'm gonna say is I hope they get moving here the end
Yeah.
of November. Because I mean,
Yeah.
we really need to get moving.
right,
It's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the annoying, aggravating part, is just
Yeah.
the waiting.
Okay.
and I
And I
have
do-
a feeling that selling the church, the foundry guys are saying, oh, this is gonna go through really easily. That's the impression that I was getting from them. But who's going to buy a church?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
I'm just thinking of who might want that property.
oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking-
Oh,
of the
well,
s-
I'll tell you
I
who
see.
wants
The
their,
school
I can
right
tell you
next
exactly who,
door.
the
city?
Catholic church next to them would take that property in a heartbeat,
Yep.
in
But
a
can they
heartbeat.
afford it?
Oh, they can
Oh,
afford it.
sure.
The
I don't
Catholic,
know.
the Catholics are very good at fundraising.
right,
I don't know, they're combining a lot of churches now.
yeah, but,
Not in
But-
Elmhurst.
yeah.
But IC's doing very well. I think IC's, yeah, people like IC,
Yeah,
Or just make it a parking lot.
right?
Anything-
But anyway, that's beside
moving
the
on here,
point.
did anything
I
else-
just hope,
Let's get
I
a,
hope things move along.
Yeah,
Anything else from
hopefully.
anything else from finance?
Nope, that does it.
No, we get it, John. Good job.
Yes, thank you, John. I know
We
that.
appreciate it.
Long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, John, thanks for all your work.
yeah,
No problem.
thank you.
Okay, so, no memorial fund report because Marilyn Dort's not here, but, I don't think we've dispersed or received any money from
Do
memorial.
we have to approve John's budget for January through June? or
Oh,
is
yes,
he
we
good?
should. We should, because if
Are
that's what
you
you're gonna
good?
propose at church conference, yeah. So, John, if you want to make a motion.
Okay, I move the budget for January through June 2025. In other words, the very first column there to the right where the numbers are, dollar figures are.
And just to be clear, we're only proposing at the church conference, we're only going to propose a budget for the first 6 months of the year.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't think we need a second. So all those in favor of,
Aye.
any opposed? Okay, so that budget will be presented at the church conference for approval then. Okay.
And as far as you and I, Pastor Jim, I will be working on those forms. I will try to do everything, first of all, on the internet. If I can't, then I will do it with paper.
Okay, all right, we'll get
Yeah,
to that. in a
you and
second.
me. Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know about the. So Memorial Fund, I think, is probably is probably the same as it was last time.
Yeah, it
This
was,
is-
except it got interest.
Oh, say again?
Yeah, I think it was a couple dollars.
Okay. This is, so on your screen is the investment fund report. So you can see from here, from there, from the beginning of September to the end of September, we went from 1,617,000 and change to 1,637,000. So we got about 20,000,
Wow.
a little bit more than 20,000 from the month. This is a disbursement that we get every month.
Every month.
Yep. So yeah, so that's our ending balance, and then where am I? Okay, so then here's the amount to spend. It's $303.40.
Okay.
Right, so we can all go out and have a nice dinner.
Okay.
Any questions about the investment fund?
Nope.
Sounds good.
Alright. Okay, Patty, SPRC.
So Pastor Jim had emailed me the beginning of the week, and actually the SPRC members that are, we only have two here, Sandy and Margaret. But we had discussed that we needed to get together to
Right.
work on the paperwork. Well, Pastor Jim kind of wants the paperwork before we're meeting on November 13th. But honestly, I was looking through what he sent me. There aren't a lot of changes. So if you guys trust me, I'll just work on it and send that in. And if I have any questions, I'll contact you. You know what the paper I'm talking about,
Yeah,
where we say what we're gonna do this year? Well,
a whole
I can
lot,
see,
a whole lot of nothing.
right, I mean, yeah, I just don't see that we need to get together this week or next, like, to do it. I think there's so few changes that I can just do that.
That's up to you. Otherwise,
And then if I freak out, I'll contact you guys, but I don't think Pastor Jim, I mean, like, for instance, it said, that we look forward to, getting on committees. Well, we're on committees. I mean, we're doing, so there just isn't that much.
right.
But then I had told Pastor Jim, did you read that we're having a meeting a little bit before our ladies luncheon on the 13th?
Did
And
I
that-
read that? Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
did read that.
Okay, so you understood that I wasn't like, we didn't pick a date to purposely leave you out.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Okay, I told him he can come if he wants, but I have
Actually,
to leave
so
the room for
Patty,
part of it.
right. So Patty, if you want to get if you want the committee's input, it's okay if you're really going to do it on the 13th and can get it to me, a day or two later. I still have enough time.
Oh, okay.
I still have enough time, not a lot, but so I need it in the next day or two. After
Oh,
that.
no, it would be that
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna,
So
I
that's
would
okay
just-
with me.
okay. That
That's
would make
okay.
me feel better. I was gonna try to figure out a way to get to them just so that they could read it.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but
that's
that-
okay.
Okay,
So you're going to meet, let me just make sure. So you're going to meet on the 13th, right?
yes.
And then by the 14th or 15th, you'll have,
No, but by the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna, the next day at the latest.
Okay.
So the 14th at the absolute latest.
okay. Anything else from SPRC?
No,
I
Okay.
don't think so.
that's it.
To answer Deb's question from earlier, so before we did the minutes, I did have an email communication with Ivory, and basically, recognized that she didn't have to do the Elmhurst bulletins anymore, or our bulletins anymore. And she didn't have to do Calvary's work anymore. But instead, what we did is we migrated her time into creating the current weekly email that you get with all the announcements and all the stuff from first, so that our congregation would have that and then could start taking advantage of ministry opportunities and events and all those things at first. So basically, it's probably a wash time wise. And so that's kind of how we left it is, what, just take care of those weekly things and we'll keep going. So that's kind of where we left that.
Yeah.
Can we add our meetings to their announcements?
Yeah, we can do anything we want. Kathy, I don't know if you've interacted with Kathy, but Kathy is like so psyched about us being together. No, really, like she is the most excited person about us.
Yeah,
coming
she's
Yeah,
Very
she is pretty
positive.
excited.
right.
But I
So
wasn't sure if there was a process, if anybody had to, because really all it is our meetings, our monthly meeting, if we do them monthly.
right.
We
No,
do-
I think that
we-
I think that this meeting is still important because we are not merged. So we still
Right.
need
right.
we still need to go through our finances. We still need to have our reports, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell her what I can tell her what that schedule is, and then she can put it in.
But we don't go to their ad council meeting, so why would we need to publicize ours?
Just so they
Because
know.
we go there and maybe you guys will actually remember when they're at now.
We're not inviting them, Deb. We're just
Oh.
Right.
Why?
But
Okay,
Ivory also takes care of that because she sent an email out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't care.
And I've already donated my time at their church to be an usher.
Right.
And they know of my time that I won't be there in November on the 10th because I will be in New York marching the 11th. So
Okay.
they will find somebody else to pick up the monies and what have you. So
Okay.
other than that,
So that's
that's what's going on.
Okay. All right. So that's SPRC. Mission. For mission report, I would just, first, there's a budget question, but First does have an awful lot of opportunities to be in ministry, for educational opportunities, for events, for contributing. I would just strongly recommend you and, whoever else you contact in our congregation to read those things and to find, if there's things that you are excited about, you feel called to, I would definitely ask you to participate. You all probably know Deb and Margaret are in the bell choir now, right? The ladies have gone to lunch with the United Women in Faith. Harold
I
is
attended their worship committee last Wednesday night.
Deb went to worship committee. So, the way that I would frame this up is how I framed it up at Calvary is this is the dating time, right? We're kind of dating first to see if we're compatible, right? So go date, right? You can't find out anything about the other party if you don't engage. So go date,
I just
Try
hope
to
we're
take advantage of
steady by spring.
Well, yeah, but you're
I
dating.
think we need to be going steady.
Yeah, let's at least go
Right.
steady.
And then realistically, what we've talked about at Calvary was the intention to merge is like the engagement, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to work out all the details, and then the actual vote is the marriage. So, but please do that. I think the next big thing that coming up, this is going to be my segue into this, is that First is going to run a stewardship pledge campaign. And they're going to do that over the next, they're going to start this Sunday. So I'm preaching about it. And then it goes through November 17th. So November 17th is like Pledge Sunday. Reverend Wendy, our new DS, will be preaching. So if you have not met Reverend Wendy yet, this would be a good opportunity to hear her. She is a really good preacher, good pastor. So she will be there November 17th. And then there's a catered lunch afterwards. And signups are going to be happening. But they decided that they didn't want to just do the standard church crapshoot lunch. They actually wanted it catered because they wanted to celebrate it, and so that's going to come up. So that's going to be a pretty big celebration in the life of the church. So for our standpoint, right, one of the things that has been a puzzle has been, now that we're not meeting in our building, how do we reliably collect offerings, right, that doesn't involve a lot of manual processes, right? So instead, for us, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and help people do electronic giving to our church, right? So in November, what I'm going to ask a couple of you to do, the people that are kind of good with technology, is I'm going to set up a way for people to set up on their credit card or on their bank account a way to do either one-time or periodic giving. Okay. Every Sunday, or those first 3 Sundays in November, then what First is going to do and what we're going to do is we're going to give opportunity for people to come and get help right there, like with a laptop or a computer, to sign up and do that automated giving. The automated giving platform that I think I'm going to use is called Tithely. And so Tithely produces reports when any time a contribution is given, it produces reports on who gave.
Can you spell that?
Huh?
Can you spell that?
Tithely,
Yeah.
let's see.
TIDLY.
It's TITHE.LY.
Okay.
And so what we'll do is then we'll get those reports over to Harold as the financial secretary so that he can continue seeing how money is coming into the account and continue to report the way he does now, right? Plus, so for John, there'll be a small bank fee that goes with that. And the person who's donating the money electronically has the option of donating a little bit more to cover that fee. Okay. So what I'm hoping is that most of the congregation will switch over to electronic giving so that Christ continues to maintain a pretty good, steady offering income, right? Even though we're meeting at First, right? And then report wise, Harold will get what he needs and John will get what he needs, and we can more or less seamlessly kind of integrate
And
this.
what if people want to continue to mail in their checks? We can.
If they
still
do, if they
that?
mailing it is no problem. The harder nut to crack is you bring your check to worship service. That's kind of the harder nut. But if you mail your check to the office, then Ivory will give it to Harold. Harold will deposit it. So that's okay. It's really like, what do you do if you bring the check to Sunday service? So, and I think it'll help us a little bit because there is that little bit of effect that when people don't come to church, they don't give and they don't always remember to make it up, right? So having electronic giving and saying, hey, I'm going to give $100 a week, and I'm going to let the electronic giving thing take care of it, is a way, I think, to smooth out our income, right? So,
Do you know what the time reference is? Can you do it weekly or monthly or?
you can do it. You can do it one time. You can do it weekly. You can do it bi-weekly. You can do it monthly, and I think you can do it annually.
Okay.
And other people in our congregations have other systems that they've set up, like they have their bank send a check to our church office, and that's fine, right? Again, if you're mailing it to the church office on a regular basis, I don't care, right? It's really more for the people that like to give on Sunday at worship. Those are the ones we're kind of missing, and we don't have a really great process for it, right? I mean, Harold can collect the checks there, but then if Harold's not there, who do they give their checks to? Blah, 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 right? So, but anyway, so I will reach out to some people that will hopefully be able to help me with that. And hopefully we'll be able to get a good percentage of the congregation to do that, just to smooth out our offering stream. Again, church conference is Sunday, November 24th, 6 p.m. for SPRC with Pastor Wendy or Reverend Wendy,
November what?
6:30 for everyone else. You heard the merger update. Okay. So then I'm kind of done there. The only last thing that I have, does anybody have any questions about that? About anything of that?
No, so we'll actually see Wendy, Pastor Wendy, 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yep. But I mean, I don't
She's
I don't know
very
how-
nice.
I don't know how, yeah, I don't know how
Very
good
nice.
my word is, but she is a really nice person. Like way too nice to me, but she's from the South, and that's the explanation there. Next meeting is scheduled, our next meeting is currently scheduled for the 28th, November 28th, which is Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So I don't think that we want to meet on Thanksgiving.
nope.
So does anybody have any thoughts about what they would like to do
Why don't you
instead?
move it till beginning of December and then that'll be November and December?
That's fine.
Yeah, because we have conference in November.
Agreed. Okay. So, let me see. So then the next one would be, let's see, December. So the second Sunday, or second Sunday, the second Thursday is the 12th. The 5th, so the 5th is the first. So we were just sort of met with church conference, but the 5th is a Thursday, the 12th is a Thursday, the 19th is a Thursday. Anybody got any preferences or stay away dates?
I would say the 12th.
Well,
Yeah.
I was the 12th, everybody.
Yeah, fine.
I'd go with the 12th too.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, 12.
All right.
All right, 12th it is. So
Maybe 12.
meeting will be November 12th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And we will cancel November's or cancel. We're going to cancel November's meeting and basically
Okay.
move meetings.
All right.
Well, this meeting. too.
Okay. Anybody got any other business here?
Did you say you're preaching this Sunday?
I am preaching this Sunday at Elmhurst.
Okay, I guess we're gonna miss you.
Oh, well then, the heck with you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're going
So
out. of
Jim, what was the amount on the fund again? 1637, and then I lost the numbers beyond that, because I think I have to report that.
Oh, you know what, John? You mean for the
For the
For the
investment
fund.
fund?
conference?
Yeah,
I'll just email you this statement.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep, no problem. Anything else for the good of the cause? Okay, let's pray out and then we can move on. Gracious God, we thank you. Thank you for your blessings and thank you for your presence in our lives. We are truly thankful when we think about our situations in our lives that you have graced us, that you have strengthened us, that you have comforted us in our time of need. So as we go from this place, we pray that you would give us rest tonight and that you would give us opportunity to share the good news with all that we encounter in our lives, that we would share the joy that comes of knowing you and being called by you and being saved by you. God, we pray all this in the name of your son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night.
See you next week.
Yep.
Have a good trip. I missed them. They heard me.
Bye
Yeah.
now.
All right. Good night.
Good
Night.
night.